To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. I'm Adnan Virk in for Trey. It's great to have you with us. Mike Golic Jr. is along for the ride as well. As always, we are presented by Progressive Insurance and all of our phone guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line. You had a couple of tweets, Mike, you want to touch on?
I did. First and foremost, we're wearing our spelling bee bibs because the National Script Spelling Bee is tonight. Always love that. Mine says Mike from Golic and Wingo, Willowick, Ohio. The number is 257. I don't know what 257 means. I think they're trying to go for my draft spot. I was 255, not 257.
Maybe it was like a circus trick. They were trying to guess your weight.
Yeah, maybe. That's pretty good. That's way over, though, by about 20 pounds.
Yeah, no, congratulations.
Yours
on the
is number 57, which was your number at Notre Dame, and you're wearing Trey Wingo's bib, and it has number 92, and we have no idea why.
Loved Reggie White.
But there you go.
Pride of Greenwich, Connecticut.
But the spelling bee is tonight. I know you and Jen Latta are doing the live Twitter show, so that'll be fun.
Yes, exactly. So a little bit of a cross-promotion here.
There you go. And then I got a tweet, and this happens all the time. I love when people tweet in to talk about they're going through the birth of a child.
Wow.
Right? Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Derek tweets in, catching some Golic and Wingo while my beautiful wife goes through this child labor. That's from Derek. Derek, who's your wife? Give us a name. Give her some pub. It happens all the time. I mean, at least he does hashtag she's doing all the work outside of, his short stint in this whole thing. But I mean, give your wife's name. Something. Give her a little bit of love. The guys always forget to give the wife's name. It's just stunning to me. But hey, good luck anyway. Good luck to your wife, whose name we don't know, because Derek, you didn't want to tell us as she's doing all the work. Hope it all goes well.
Wonder how many Dereks and their unnamed wives are having kids right now across this great nation. Like, we have no idea how to specify now.
Well, we don't, but this one is obviously watching and listening, so he hears me speaking to him right now, so I'm hoping he'll tweet back and at least give her name out. Give her a little love.
Fix it, Derek.
Yeah. Do it.
Clean it up, okay?
Do it right.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah.
All right, here's what's trending. NBA Finals beginning tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern on ABC and ESPN Radio. At last, we get our fourth installment of this series. The Golden State Warriors, a huge favorite to win their third title in the last 4 years. Second biggest NBA Finals favorite in the last 30 years, and they're a 13-point favorite in Game 1. How about this? LeBron James has played in 1,378 career games. That's regular season and playoffs. He's never been an underdog of more than 12 points.
But he certainly has been an underdog in the finals. This is his ninth, as you mentioned. 7 times now he has been the underdog. 2-4 in the previous 6. 1-1 when he was a favorite. Favored twice, 2011 against the Mavericks. Obviously lost that one. 2013 against the Spurs. Won that one. Game 1 is always interesting for LeBron. LeBron doesn't do as well, averages 21 points, shooting just 38% from the field, where in the other games he's averaging 36 points. So he doesn't come out of the gate strong in the Game 1. So we'll see. We still don't know about Kevin Love in this from getting out of concussion protocol and being able to play. We know Andre Iguodala is not going to be playing in this one. I don't hold out a whole lot of hope for Cleveland in Game 1, and this is kind of a familiar territory for LeBron being underdogged in the series.
Yeah, and it's funny because usually with this much time in between to look at and analyze this game, we talk ourselves into a little more hope for the Cavaliers, but this year the gap seems so wide at this point, and you're right, LeBron, the feel-out Game 1 for him with Andre Iguodala out. Now, how does that change what gets thrown at him from Golden State compared to what he's seen in past finals from them?
Also, hockey last night, the Washington Capitals defeating the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 to win their first ever Stanley Cup final game. They were 0-5 and even the series at 1-1. Braden Holtby had 37 saves, one of which was absolutely stupendous. It's one of the best saves I've ever seen. It's, in fact, the best save of this year for sure. By the way, 37 saves, second most this postseason. It's his 13th win this postseason, which sets a Capitals single-season record. And also, Alexander Ovechkin, one of the great goal scorers of his era, finally gets his first Stanley Cup final goal. Everything coming up rosy for Washington, which was a very tight game, Mike. And that save, it was with 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to go. I mean, 3-2 game, and the puck goes off the backboards. I mean, it goes to Cody Eakin on one side of the goal, pretty close to the goal, and Holtby goes to block that side of it. Eakin makes a pass right across the front of the goal to Alex Tuck, and I mean Tuck has an open point blank shot that he is just, as he said after, should have buried it. How Holtby got his stick back there to block it. If there was any lift on that puck at all, that would have been in. But I'm sure Tuck didn't think he needed any lift on that puck because it was wide open. Holtby gets that stick around, blocks it, and that's all she wrote. What a monster save that was.
We had a lot of fun at the goalie's expense after Game 1, where these teams combined for 10 goals in a series we thought would be defined by goaltending, and Holtby very clearly putting his stamp on this now as the Caps even it up 1-1, but losing Evgeny Kuznetsov last night to that upper body injury. It looked pretty isolated in the upper arm, which is about as specific as I'm sure we'll get, but the leading goal scorer through the playoffs so far in the NHL, going to be interesting to see how they rebound.
It is that one, and you see, as I said, when you see a hockey player double over, they're in some pain, and he kind of got backed into and immediately looked like he almost grabbed his hand, but we don't know what the upper body, the arm injury is going to be. They've dealt with some other injuries, obviously, in this playoffs and come through it okay, but this is an important piece of the puzzle right here, who is in a lot of pain.
And how about the spectacle pregame? Always entertaining. We had the Knights going again.
Love it. It was the same show. I thought it would be kind of a different show, though. It was kind of the same thing. It's Vegas. I was hoping they would have mixed it up a little bit, but I dig it.
You want a little dancing showgirls like that?
Something.
Heavy Imagine Dragons theme last night.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Randy Couture in the house as well. I felt Cliff's clock coming. I just wanted to get Randy Couture in. All right, Tiger Woods tees off the Jack Nicklaus hosted Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio this morning at 8:26 a.m. Eastern, so a little over an hour away. Woods has won the tournament 5 times in 15 attempts, but the last time he played was 2015. He carded his worst professional round at 85 on a Saturday. Woods is paired with Justin Rose, number 3 in the world, and Jason Duffner, who is the reigning champion at the Memorial. Check out feature group coverage this morning on ESPN+.
So we're to the point now with Tiger where he's made the last 6 cuts. There's more than a few people that think he's playing well enough that he's going to get a win or two, maybe another major. I hope he does. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it's going to happen, he's got to do better on Thursdays and Fridays. Right now, his Thursday score is at 71. He's ranked 103rd. A Friday score of 72 is ranked 178th. He's put himself in a monster hole in the last 3 tournaments, where he was Masters. He was 13 back going into Saturday, 9 back Wells Fargo, 14 back at the Players. So if we're now going to take that next step with Tiger, and that's on Sunday, be there and competing, and we know he's gotten close, and then he fell back, a little bit in some. If he's going to get there, he's got to do better. He can't be that far out going into the weekend and putting himself in that much of a hole.
Yeah, it was interesting. So Jack Nicklaus came out before this and said Tiger Woods needs to, right now, learn how to win again, learn how to get over that hump. And we always think of winning in sports, we backload it. We think of Tiger Woods on Sunday. We think of fourth quarter victories. But it really is that front end. It's Thursday and Friday where Tiger Woods has to learn how to put himself in a position to win again.
Yeah, and ultimately, Tiger Woods, listen, whether you love him or hate him, there's no denying nobody moves the meter like him.
Yeah,
right? There's very few guys in this world that are still so charismatic and still so beloved by so many. We'll see how he does today. Once again, check out feature group coverage this morning on ESPN+. Golic and Wingo is presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Getting a quote is easier than ever. Coming up 7:45, book it. Cannot wait for that. We also have a doctor coming up here.
Yes, we do.
Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. People that don't know this story, Mike, it's amazing. Kansas City Chiefs lineman.
Yeah, I was going to say,
is a doctor.
Yeah, you say a doctor, and oh, by the way, his real job is a right guard on the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. So pretty impressive.
Yeah, so he's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Plus, we'll have more reaction here to this Brian Colangelo story, whether or not he used 5 burner accounts to send out tweets, not only defaming his own players, but also other people in the league. We'll get more sound, like I said, on that, including Adrian Wojnarowski weighing in there. But, of course, the moment of truth has arrived. Adnan Virk in for Trey today. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, alongside Mike Golic Jr. as well. I don't know who the comeback player of the year is this year. I mean, it's only June almost. But I know who the comeback coach of the year.
And who would that be?
It's me. Last year, 1-8 as the Cleveland Indians bench coach. This season, Rob Hanawalt saw something in me. West Hartford Youth Baseball League. He said, you know what?
How old are these kids?
Grade 3, 4, and 5. So that's
grade 3, 4, and 5.
8, 9, and 10.
Is it kid pitch?
It is kid pitch.
Kid pitch. Okay, we're just at a kid pitch stage. Last year you were the bench coach.
1-8 for the Indians. And Hanawalt said, I see something in this guy. All right, he's got drive, he's got determination. Let's make him a boss. Sylvan Learning Center. I'm now the manager.
So you went from bench coach, 1-8 team, to manager this year.
1-8, not 1-18, although it felt like 1-18.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's amazing what looking like Chris Chelios will get you in this world.
If you had played 9 more games, you would have been 1-18. Is that fair?
That's probably a fair point.
Okay.
However, this season things have changed, and we've just seen a renewed dedication to the game of baseball, quite frankly, and a dedication to, quite frankly, winning.
Yeah.
The regular season concluded. Would someone like to guess what the record is of the Sylvan Learning Center team coached by Adnan Virk?
So you're now the manager. You are the head honcho. Well, I'm going to say it's better. So you won 3 games.
I think we did a little better than that, Mike. I just told you we had a renewed commitment to winning. That's not going from 1 to 3.
2 more wins. I mean, it's more winning.
It's a lot more vigorous than you think. There's 9 teams in the league.
Give me 8-0, 9-0 in this.
We started out 2-2.
Okay.
And then I rallied the troops. You know what? Listen, I don't know what you guys think is acceptable. I mean, I got 8-year-old kids crying. I'm like, listen, stop crying.
Yeah, there's no crying in baseball.
There's no big league chew either, for that matter. I banned that. All right, let you guys start winning.
Wow,
no more
did you
seeds.
really?
In the clubhouse. Coach, you got any seeds? No more seeds. You win first, and you get seeds after. I'll buy the Gatorade. I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow.
Let's win first.
Wow.
Then
Sprinkles
we ripped off a 7-game winning streak.
No, you did
That is
not.
what I'm talking about. We then lost a couple of games.
Oh, okay. You got full of yourself, huh?
Well, yeah. There's no question we were reading our own headlines.
Yeah, okay.
12-11 of disputed late
You gave
calls.
them the seeds, didn't you? And all of a sudden you started losing.
However,
Yeah.
we finished the season on a winning note. And ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the playoffs, quarterfinals of this Sunday.
Yeah.
Sylvan Learning Center is the number 1 seed at 8-4.
Wow.
That
I want winners.
Yeah, that's exactly
I
what
want to win.
That's exactly what I'm looking for here.
So first and foremost, let's be honest. Did you oust the manager? Was there a coup?
Was this a coup? Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Let's be honest here.
Pat Cooney did a sensational job, and he went in a different direction. I went in a different direction. It was amicable. We parted with it.
After a select group of photographs were leaked about him, and
burner account tweets were released.
And the key here is, honestly, is this: strength in numbers, right? Surround yourself with people smarter than you. So I've got Mark Daigle, who's my bench coach. He also throws BP. I've got Dan Goldfarb, who tracks the pitch count. He's also strength and conditioning. I've got Jim Pisano, who's a pitching coach. I've got Jason Lavoie, who's my bench coach, also defensive position.
How many coaches?
I've got David Peters, who's a first base coach.
8, 9, and 10-year-olds. How many people you have associated?
Alex Pantages is my hitting coach. They said to us, they go, well, you want to have 1 or 2 assistants. I'm like, I've got 6 assistants. Once again, we're looking to win here. Okay, you can't add players, you can add coaches.
What are you doing?
It's volunteer based.
What are you doing for strength and conditioning for 8, 9, and 10-year-olds?
Do you want to know the ugly truth? We had some base running mishaps. Guys were running when the coaches told them not to run, and then guys were not running when the coaches told them to run. So I instituted a rule 3 games ago. Like, all right, guys, here we go. The next guy who doesn't run when the coach tells him to run is doing 20 push-ups at the end of the inning. Similarly speaking, if you run without permission of the coach, you think you can steal home, that's 20 push-ups. I've had 3 offenders so far. 2 of them struggled to do push-ups, but we somehow got through it. 20 may have been generous. I mean, they are 8 and 9.
So they're doing push-ups during the game.
That's good. I call them over and they go, oh my God. Like, one of the coaches knows Steve Ackles, who works here. He goes, hey, Adnan's coaching my Little League team. He goes, oh, how is he? He goes, oh, great guy. He goes, he's kind of a little more intense than I thought. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, oh, he's a good dude. He goes, but he makes them do push-ups like in between innings. He goes, that's it. Give me 20.
Bottom line is you're winning.
You are
no
the
more
Nick,
Mr. Nice Guy.
You are the Nick Saban of Little League Baseball. He's adding offensive analysts.
Holy smokes.
He's bringing over Boog Shambi and these guys and putting them in.
I'm glad you mentioned star power, because here's what I need your help with.
Oh, boy.
Quarterfinals are this Sunday.
Okay.
Semifinals, if we make it, are next Saturday.
Quit looking ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I had some guys going, all right, when's the final, Coach? No, hang on a second. One game at a time.
Okay.
All right. Quarterfinals are going to be on Sunday. Semifinals, Saturday, June 9th. The championship, if we make it, Sunday, June 10th. And I've got to now, at this point, rely on my stars and the star power that I know.
Right.
Christine Lacey is coming to the game on Sunday. She's going to offer support and star power.
And baked goods.
And baked goods if they win.
Please, God.
I've got some friends in the business. Aaron Boone's the manager of the New York Yankees. Alex Cora's the manager of the Red Sox. We make it to the semifinals. Maybe we'll do a live FaceTime with the manager of those teams.
Right.
Maybe a tape message from Aaron Boone and Cora. Now for the championship game. Here's where I need to lean on you two guys.
Okay.
You live in Avon. You guys are relatively close by.
Yeah.
What do you think you can offer for the championship game? Maybe throw a ceremonial first pitch?
Oh, I'm not going.
No. You have to go. If we make it, no.
I'm not going.
No, live remote. This is in the contract.
I'm
We're going to stream it on ESPN Plus. I'm going to listen.
Have to do
I got plenty of people that we can talk to here in the building.
Let's inspire kids, Mike. They go, oh my God, it's Mike Golic and Mike Golic Jr. They're going to play their hearts up for you guys.
Now, wait a minute. You're going to expect us to show up and root for you. What about the other team who maybe listen to the show and are saying, wait a minute, the Golics are rooting against us. Now I got 8, 9, and 10-year-old kids crying. What is that all about?
We don't really care about those guys.
Yeah, we don't have time, Dad. You know what? They're going to be the losers in this situation anyway. We're about winners on this show. I just sent a text message to Jimmy Pitaro. We're going to get this thing on ESPN Plus.
That's what I'm talking about.
You may have heard of him. He's the president of this fine company. He's doing some great things around here. We're going to get this on ESPN Plus. Get the set out there.
West Hartford Youth Baseball League Championship match coming your way, ESPN Plus.
You are setting yourself up for a loss in the quarters, talking about the finals.
It would be like Miracle on Ice type upset. Like if we lose that game in the quarters, I'm telling you, I won't be able to come to work. Shameful.
Man, are you just damning yourself
How about
right here.
you show up as the umpire? Like it's an Enrico Palazzo thing, a naked gun.
The big reveal.
Can I sing the national anthem?
I think it would be amazing.
That's amazing. Well, congrats to you, even though you sound like you're running a kind of a tough ship there.
Well, listen.
Holy smokes.
You learn, okay? You go through trials and tribulations.
Can I ask you a question?
And you know what's fun? Winning's fun, guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Forget the orange slices. Let's win.
Can we learn this? The Patriot way of Little League Baseball.
Any kind of question. Are these kids actually having fun?
Well, let me say this.
Yeah.
On average, I'd say I have about 2 or 3 kids crying every game. Now, it's not through my demeaning, vociferous ways, but they just put pressure on themselves. They strike out and they start crying. So then I can be a big softy, arm around them. It's okay, guys. But deep inside, I'm fuming. So I just say, it's all right, guys. Hang in. It's okay. It's baseball. It's all right. It's a game of failure. Hang in there. What are you doing? I got to move this kid down next time. Jeez, well, struck out again.
Wow.
You're hitting ninth.
Healthy scratch for the next
Holy
game right here.
Smokes, DNP, huh? Coach's decision. Wow.
I
well,
think.
Congrats on the better record. I'm a little.
How about this though? Friday is the All-Star game. I'm managing the All-Star game.
Wow.
So I got 4 All-Stars, of course, we're the number 1 team, and then I've got 3 All-Stars from 3 other teams, and the other team's got 5, etc. Point is this. It's the All-Star game. My guys all want to pitch, and I go, dude, it's the All-Star game. Like, take it easy. It's Friday night, relax, Wolcott Park. Sunday's the playoffs. But they're thinking as kids, the All-Star game. No, I want to pitch, I want to play.
Sure.
How do you tell kids to go, hey, just go at half speed in the All-Star game? This is inconsequential. It's an exhibition game.
I remember way back when I was going to coach you guys, you and Jake and Sydney and all your Little League stuff, and my father, God rest his soul, said to me, it's going to be the most fun you ever have in your life. Because your son's on the team, correct?
Yeah, Yusuf is excellent speed.
Of course, he said it's going to be the most fun you ever have in your life. He said, but it's going to be the other coaches, managers, and parents that will ruin the experience. Now I know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, my God. Dude, relax.
Listen,
Holy smokes.
I reward them when the incentives are there, okay? I brought M&Ms and we won. We beat the first place team like M&Ms on me. And honestly, if we win, whatever they want, I will give it to them.
There we go. Pay the players.
Wow.
Yeah. Pay the players.
Yeah. We'll get them on Golden Wingo.
I don't know what to think right now.
Last thought here from Brett Parada before we move on.
If you have your guys in the All-Star game pitching, pitch counts aside, you're going to ruin their confidence if they get beat up by the best players in the league on the other team.
True, you don't want to get shelled before the playoff.
My ace is like a young Mike Messina. He's like, I want to pitch, and I go, no. I go, it's 1 inning pitch. Like you get 20 pitch. To Brett's point, it's 20 pitches per guy. So I might be like, hey, 10, you're out. See ya. Confidence. It's a very mentally fragile team. Adnan Virk in for Trey today. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Let's sound off on this Brian Colangelo story. It's brought to you by ADT. Considering home security, consider this. For 140 years, ADT has helped stop more crime than any other home security company. Visit ADT.com to learn more. All right, Brian Colangelo.
Yeah.
So the latest when it comes to Brian Colangelo, of course, the league is investigating.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Adrian Wojnarowski chiming in, ESPN NBA insider.
This has to move quickly for them. This is the credibility of their organization. This is an organization that on the court has been on the rise. They have a lot of options to help their team this summer. They can go out and get a max free agent. They have a slot there. They have a lottery pick in this draft. And so they need to know what their leadership's going to be. Is it going to be Brian Colangelo, or is there going to be another change in leadership?
So this is where it gets interesting. And yesterday we sort of threw it out there. Would it matter if we found out that it was someone else? You heard some super conspiracy theorist saying maybe Sam Hinkie's at the bottom of this. But you mentioned this. We had seen Roger Goodell's wife came out and admitted that she had used fake accounts to go and defend her husband to the masses. Now we've got, with everything else in this, circumstantial internet-based evidence that leads us to believe that maybe Brian Colangelo's wife is involved. So the account at Did 76ers Win, a great source in all of this, but tweeted some screen grabs that indicate Barbara Bettini, who is Brian Colangelo's wife, in an email. It has the rest of her cell phone number blocked out, but you can see the last 4 digits and the last 2, which are 9 and 1. On Twitter, the way it works is if you want to go in and change your password, it has that verification system with your cell phone attached. So if I wanted, I could go and try and change the password to any Twitter account that I had the handle of right now, and it would say, we're going to send the authentication code to this cell phone number, and it blocks out all the numbers and it gives the last 2 digits. The last 2 digits linked to 3 of the burner Twitter accounts are 91, the same digits that account for Barbara Bettini's last 2 digits on her cell phone number that supposedly surfaced in an email. And what adds to this further is Rich Hoffman, who writes for The Athletic's Philadelphia branch, tweeted out yesterday some screen grabs of tweets from Eric Jr., one of the prominent fake Twitter accounts mentioned in this whole report done by The Ringer, was tweeting about the same issues being discussed in a press conference. February 11th, 2017, Brian Colangelo was part of a presser before a game talking about Joel Embiid's previously undisclosed torn meniscus, while at the same time, Eric Jr. is out with the timestamps to match up and prove it, tweeting simultaneously about this going on, in theory stating that Brian Colangelo wouldn't be able to both be at that press conference and tweeting from the burner account at the same time. So it's opened up to the idea now, people wondering, did his wife create these accounts? Is she behind it? Did he maybe use her cell phone number to make these accounts? Because the information is still very sensitive. The issues and the ramifications are still there. But now we've introduced another player into the scenario.
Oh, my gosh.
Right, because that was the biggest question. They go, well, how could they really link these up? Like, is it circumstantial? But we all know, the three of us, if there's evidence, he's going to get caught. You can link these things. You can find out this stuff.
Right. And also, if his wife is involved in this, is it still you're defending your husband like Roger Goodell's wife was? But in this case, there is information about trades. We can get into the legal side of this, about trades, about injuries that take it further than just defending your husband.
If it was just the wife, Mike, let's suppose you're Sixers manager.
Right.
If it was just the wife and it's, bedtime conversations, he's just telling stuff to his wife, she tweeted it out there, would you still remove Brian Colangelo?
Well, I mean, they say what you're responsible for, your family members tweeting, Jake. I mean, it's kind of, supposedly.
That'd be bad news for me, I'll tell you, because they're not going to hold you accountable for that.
That's a tough go. Again, because there's one thing to defending a person. There's another thing to putting out information that shouldn't be put out about trades and or injuries that then cross the line.
You've compromised the team.
Right.
You've violated what we'll get into a number of laws that could certainly come into play. And most importantly for the organization, the trust between the players, the rest of this front office, and your maybe former president.
Plenty more on this game, brother. Coming up, for the first time in years, a medical story in the NFL that has nothing to do with concussions.
At Trex, we know there's a place for wood in your backyard. We recommend the fire pit. But when it comes down to choosing the right material for your next deck, look no further than the superior beauty and durability of the world's #1 premium decking brand. Trex delivers the look of wood without all of the work and the worry, and it's made from 95% recycled materials, which makes it the right choice for your backyard 100% of the time. To learn how to make Trex your next deck, visit Trex.com to order samples.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Adnan Virk in for Trey. We're Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News with Mike Golic Jr. as well. As always, we're presented by Progressive Insurance, and all of our phone guests are on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We'll get back to our NBA Finals conversation in just a second, but honestly, if you're a sports fan, you love human interest stories, and you love stories of perseverance and resilience, but there's never been a story quite like this. Kansas City Chiefs offensive guard, Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. That's right. I just said Chiefs offensive guard and doctor. He joins us in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Can I call you Laurent or can I call you Doctor? What's more appropriate here?
Honestly, however you want. Honestly, Doctor, kind of feel good right now.
All right, Doctor, let's go with this here. For those who are unaware, Laurent, or Doctor, you're a terrific football player, as I mentioned, but you wanted to become a doctor, and now you graduated from medical school. How in the world did you pull this off?
You know, it's kind of something I promised myself back in 2014 when I got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. I told myself, you know what, I'm 2 years into medical school and I want to be able to complete it. So I had 2 years left back in the days, and over the past 4 years with the Chiefs, I've been like balancing both. As soon as the season's over in Kansas City, I'm flying back to Montreal, starting clinical rotation. You know, I've been doing psychiatry, OBGYN surgery throughout the past 4 off season in order to be able to graduate yesterday. So it's an awesome feeling.
So, doctor, back in 2014, you mentioned you were a couple years into it, then you were drafted in the 6th round by the Chiefs. You were also drafted in the 3rd round of the CFL by the Calgary Stampeders. So we always talk about in football and the NFL, they want players that are focused on football. That's all they want them to do. When you talked to Andy Reid, when you talked to the Kansas City Chiefs about what you wanted to do, what did they say?
Well, Coach Reid was really awesome. I remember when I was doing my pre-draft visit back in 2014, I had the chance to talk to him about my project, and he was one of the only head coach who kind of really understood what I was trying to do and saw the whole medicine thing as a positive thing, you know. And since then, he's been like really, really flexible. His mother actually graduated from McGill in medicine as well, being one of the first women to ever graduate in medicine from McGill University. So I think there was kind of a connection, and I think Coach Reid just loves when players are trying to do also things outside of football, and he knew that medicine for me was a passion, so he tried to support me. So honestly, like, just the way he's been flexible with me and honestly trusting me that I was going to be able to train back home while studying was a big part in me being able to accomplish my goals.
So, Doctor, in that regard, because you said Andy Reid seemed like the exception, were you ever worried that this might be something that would be held against you in the pre-draft process, something that teams might look at as a distraction? Was there ever any concern on your part?
Yeah, I think of course, and I think it's legitimate in the sense that, you know, I'm a French Canadian. I played football back in Canada. I'm a medical student. Like, there were a lot of like question marks over my head back in the days. But at the same time, you know, I think if you show up to a pre-draft visit and you commit to the whole process by going to train in the States and everything and putting medicine on hold for a couple of months in order to do that, like, that shows that you really love football. So at the end of the day, that's what the coach are looking for.
As we tease the story, right now we're talking to Kansas City Chiefs offensive guard Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. Right now, Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN News. We said finally there's a story about football and doctors, which is a positive story. Now, as a doctor that plays football, what concerns do you have about head injuries?
I mean, the risks are out there, of course, but I think what's really reassuring is the whole process that the NFL went through over the last couple of years in order to try to make the sport safer. Like, we've seen different regulations put in place, different protocol in terms of head injury put in place, and I think as a player that reassured me. But what reassured me the most as a doctor is like the conversation. You know, people are talking about it, players are getting more and more educated about it, and now there's not as much of a stigma around a concussion, and it's like not a normal thing, but people are okay with talking about their symptom, and I think that's the biggest thing, because we all know that concussion now, for the most part, that's subjective, and it's based on out of a symptom in order to make a diagnosis. What
type of doctor do you want to be when you can be a doctor, I guess, full time at some point?
Yeah, I really love emergency medicine. That's something I took a lot of fun in doing those clinical rotation. I did over 4 months of emergency medicine over the past 4 years, and it's really something I like, you know. And I think there's a lot of similarity between football and emergency medicine in the sense that, you know, there's a little bit of that adrenaline rush, and you never really know what's going to sit through the door. And you also need to be able to like eliminate distraction in order to make like a rational decision and kind of eliminate the stress out of the equation in order to stay calm and be logical. So I think there's a lot of similarity with that in playing offensive guard. You know, when it's like 3rd and 10 and you gotta convert in order to go score the touchdown, you gotta remain focused.
I'm also thinking of the physical side of this. Now, to be a doctor, you have to use your hands. You play a position in a sport where hands get made. I've seen a lot of linemen, both offensive, defensive, after they played with their fingers pointing in different directions. I mean, is there any concern at all about injuries to your hands to being a doctor?
Yeah, of course, but I think it's also like specialty specific. Like, of course, I don't think I'm going to be a neurosurgeon after I play football, but I think for emergency, like having big hands, sometimes it's also a big advantage. You know, when it comes to like manipulating patient and doing different procedures. So we'll see. Honestly, like I want to play football and I love playing football, so I want to go 100% in that, and we'll see after. Depending on how I feel, but honestly, I think it won't be an issue.
Talking to Kansas City Chiefs guard and Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. Now, we have to ask the update everyone's looking for. Have you heard back from the NFL on the prospect of getting MD on the back of your jersey for the upcoming season?
No, I haven't heard anything, to be honest. I heard some rumor, and what I know for now is that the rules are the rules, so we'll see what's going to happen in the next couple weeks.
And just for everybody out there, I just want to hear the name of it. What was the most difficult class you took? What was it called?
Honestly, internal medicine was probably the toughest 2 months of my NFL career so far. You know, I remember it was after the 2016 season. I flew back to Montreal, and like literally 3-4 days after, I was starting internal medicine, which is basically like a sicker population of patients, and you're there like from 6:30 in the morning until 8, 9, 10 at night. So it was really a struggle combining that with training and everything. So that was for sure the toughest 2 months I had.
Doctor, as a proud Canadian, I'm so proud of what you're doing for all of us. And, by the way, Mike Golic's dad played in the CFL, Mike Jr.'s grandfather. So, listen, we can appreciate the fact that what kind of breed you have up there when it comes to football. And last one for us, what's better, Labatt's, Molson's, or poutine?
I'll go for poutine. You got to choose the right one, you know?
No, there's no question about it.
Good man.
McGill's finest, Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Doc.
Congrats.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a good one.
It is just a great story. Andy Reid's mom.
That's crazy.
Graduated med school. That's incredible.
Because that just brings that connection, right? The
yeah,
first time
it really
you hear
does.
And he goes, "Oh, no problem. My mom was."
I just can't fathom the work involved in doing that. And again, to the point, you know it. You went through it. I went through it. I mean, they want focus. They want football focus. And this guy's in med school.
Well, of course you couldn't imagine it. You were a D lineman.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
This is an interesting phenomenon I stumbled upon, that if you just add book it to the end of any phrase, the shorter the better, it makes it immediately a hot take.
Owen says, Jaguars win the Super Bowl, book it.
I like Tim's poutine.
Book it. Man, that's a strong point from Tim.
That is. LeBron is Toronto's kryptonite.
No.
Book it.
I like Steve's better. Josh Allen will break a table before the season starts. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Book it. SportsCenter is brought to you by Discover Card. Become a new card member, and Discover Card will match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar at the end of your first year. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Adnan Virk in for Trey. Today we are Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. That's the voice of Mike Golic Jr. You can always hear him on First and Last weekdays, 4 to 6 a.m. Eastern. And one of the best segments that Mike does is something called Book It.
Book it.
For those who are unaware, Mike.
Turn your mic on. You are a professional.
It's my fault. Book it. Just basically, I agree with you. If you just say book it and say it with some conviction, then, you know, it sounds believable.
And let me tell you what, it is sweeping this great nation. Yeah. The hot take multiplier, you just add it to any statement. I've heard Stephen A. use it. I've heard plenty of athletes use it. So we're getting there.
All right. So you're going to read these to us, and we're going to either book it or not book it.
Or not book it. Yeah. No, this is nothing like Love It or Shove It at all. So we got a music bed. We ready to go?
Not one bit.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read you guys the statement. You decide to book it or not.
Okay.
A fourth straight NBA Finals between the Cavs and Warriors is good for basketball. Book it?
Wow.
Book it. Because honestly, I don't want to see the Celtics without Kyrie. I don't want to see the Rockets without Chris Paul. So I'll take one of the best teams of my era.
You can book it.
Showtime basketball and LeBron James. What's better than that?
You know, I'll book it as well because...
You can book it.
We're getting the best players in the game. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to see the best players play. LeBron James is the best player in the game. Kevin Durant's one of the best players in the game. Steph Curry, you can go on down the line for Golden State. So if you're giving me the best players in the game, that's what I want to watch.
And I think more importantly, I'd agree with you guys and book it because this could be the last time we see this matchup. LeBron James, decisions to be made this offseason. The Warriors face some contract issues. Going to be interesting. All right. The news of the day. Brian Colangelo was not the one behind the burner accounts other than the one he admitted to.
Wow. I don't know where to go with that one.
Book it.
You're going to book that?
It is too absurd to think a 52-year-old two-time executive of the year is sitting there with 5 burner accounts. Maybe it's the wife, maybe it's a close friend, colleague. Book it. It was not him doing all 5.
But the bottom line, though, is if his wife was doing them as well, did he know about it?
He's not complicit.
To me, that brings it all in there, so I'm going to book it.
You can book it.
I'm going to book it and say he knows about and or is part of some of the others.
Yeah, but the question was not the one behind it, book it. So you're not booking that.
I don't know. I'm confused now.
The construct of this one was loosely constructed at best. I am actually going to not book this one either.
Okay, so
I do think he was behind it, and I think we need to remember that rampant insecurity is common in sports, and it is not limited to just 20-somethings. Despite the success they've achieved, men in their 50s can exude this same behavior as well. All right. The Rockets will sign Chris Paul to a max contract in July. A lot of legs to this one. Book it.
He's 33, eligible to sign a 5-year, $205 million extension. His starting salary would be $35.3 million.
Absolutely book it, Mike. Where's he going to go? Yeah, you can book it. Yeah, it's Chris Paul. I know he's 33, but where's he going? They know the Rockets know he's one of the best point guards in the game. They're keeping him. Who are we going to replace him with? Book it.
This team was one game away from being in the finals.
Yes.
Now, what are they? With X amount of players, they have $76 million, I think, built up in cap money. With Capella, they have to possibly do an extension that could be $25 million a year. I'm going to book this as well.
You can book it.
Look, you're one game away from the finals. I wouldn't mess with the chemistry you have on this team. Keep it together and try and beat the Warriors.
I'm going to book it with you. The bigger question would be, is LeBron James joining him in Houston after this Supermax deal? All right. Mm-hmm. Now let's get to the good stuff. Being mistaken for Chris Chelios was a top 5 moment in Adnan's life. Book it.
Well, listen, I've got 3 wonderful kids, wedding to my wonderful wife, Eamon. I met Robert De Niro. I've been to the Oscars twice. Forget all that. You can book it. Yes. Listen, Chris Chelios is the Stanley Cup champion. He played 25 years in the NHL. I look like an athlete. I'm Chelly.
For those that may not have heard the story, Adnan was in the airport with a Team Canada hat on, and 2 guys actually came up and took a picture of him, thought he was Chris Chelios, and Adnan played along, said he was. These guys sent pictures to their friends with Adnan thinking they were taking a picture with Chris Chelios. You absolutely can book this.
You can book it.
You can absolutely book this. I know you have a lovely wife and a lovely family that'll take up the first 4 of these, but this is definitely in the top 5.
There you go.
Chris Chelios has abs. Book that. That's all you really need to know about
You can book it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Law and Order. Okay, sorry.
All right, and finally, in honor of the Scripps National Spelling Bee coming up tonight, you can check me and Jen Ladd out, ESPNU, ESPN Plus, ESPN3.
Yes.
You would win a spelling bee amongst this staff here at Golic and Wingo. Book it.
There's no way I would. I mean, I'm a horrible speller. There's no shot. Now, again, I look past this glass here and look at all the knuckleheads in here that I should be able to beat, but I don't think so.
I would do well, but I'm not going to book it. Stanzik and Parada, both excellent spellers. I think it's a 3-horse race. I'll throw myself as the bronze medal, but I think that those 2 are the favorites.
Yeah, I got a chance. Book it. I mean, Cliff probably spells J right with just a J, so not really
book it.
worried about that one.
Wow.
Shots were hired. You heard some takes and book it. Just wait until Stugotz joins us next. Thanks as always to Mike Golic Jr. Golic and
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Adnan Virk in for Trey today. It's Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. It's been a great 3 hours. One more hour to go. As always, you're presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our phone guests in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Thanks so much for checking us out. Honestly, Caron Butler is fantastic. Hope you just listened to him. 2-time NBA All-Star and a cinephile because he's going to have a movie based on his life coming out later this year.
I mean, think of what we've heard from a couple of our guests today. We have a former 2-time All-Stars, you mentioned, basketball player all his life, now doing movies.
Right.
And we have a current football player, the offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who's a doctor who just graduated medical school just a short time ago. He's a doctor. He's trying to petition the league to have MD put at the end of his name on his jersey, which I hope they let him do. So that's impressive. You know, we always talk about the focus of your sport. Mm-hmm. One, the guy's doing this while he's still in the sport, and the other, you know, so the basketball players, I mean, they do it all their lives, and then to go into something like that, we just saw Kobe, you know, win an Oscar, and I mean, it's really a cool thing.
And then we also had Stugotz, who's, he got kicked out of a lacrosse
Seriously,
game.
You're going to, the people I mentioned, you're going to put Stugotz into that.
We're mentioning all the guests we've had so
we
far
had
today,
you and Stugotz on together talking about your Little League coaching, which nauseated me, and we're going to get to your story again.
Yeah.
Because everybody has played Little League and then probably coached some Little League. Mm-hmm. You guys knock it down a peg. Let me just tell you right now.
Or we elevate the profession.
We will let you all decide when you hear Adnan's Little League story.
It's coming up a few minutes from now. But first, let us get to what is trending. NBA Finals. That's right. The moment is at hand tonight. 9 o'clock Eastern on ABC and ESPN Radio. The Golden State Warriors are a huge favorite to win their third title in the last 4 years. Second biggest NBA Finals favorite in the last 30 years, and currently a 13-point favorite in Game 1. And here's a number that is most astonishing. LeBron James has played in 1,378 career games, regular season and playoffs. He's never been an underdog of more than 12 points. I think they win tonight, Mike. I think they win convincingly.
The Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I still don't. I mean, to me, that's shocking to me that they're like, by 13, no problem, they're going to win this thing easily because it is still LeBron, and that gives you an element of doubt. But Golden State's a heavy favorite for good reason.
They are, and also Game 1 has been the worst game for LeBron in the series in the playoffs. He's averaged 21 points a game in Game 1s. The rest of the games averaging 36 points. So unless he really has some help, and we don't know yet if Kevin Love is going to play, if he's out of the concussion protocol, we'll just have to obviously wait and see about that. So I'm with you. I think Golden State does take care of business tonight. I certainly, with my heart, want Cleveland to win this series. And when you have LeBron, you have a chance. We'll see what the other players can do, which ones step up each night. But you just think Golden State just has too much. Andre Iguodala out officially for Game 1. Not sure when he will be back. While he isn't the star of this team, he's the person that guards LeBron the most. So that will go to others like Draymond Green, Kevin Durant at times, Klay Thompson at times as well. So we'll see, if that has a domino effect at all.
LeBron is going to get his, as they say, but will the supporting cast step up? Is Love going to play? Is J.R. Smith going to score? Is Kyle Korver going to score? Is Tristan Thompson going to be effective on the offensive glass? That is going to go a long way towards determining how much of a chance the Cavaliers have in this series. Tennis, anyone? Serena Williams will face 17-seed Ashley Barty in her second-round match at the French Open today. As of last night, she was an underdog to win the match, but has the third-best odds to win the tournament, according to the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook. Can you figure that part out?
No, I can't figure that part at all. And how about for Barty? Here you are, the 17th seed, and in round 2, when you're going to be playing an unseeded player, you're playing Serena Williams, who is an unseeded player, but it's Serena Williams. I mean, you want to talk about the bad luck of the draw to get that. When you see Serena Williams, again, because she hasn't played in 496 days, she is ranked 451st, but it's Serena frickin' Williams. All right? So, I mean, you know she's going to win more. She's chasing Margaret Court to tie her up for the Grand Slam for the titles. And Court won her last 3 after having her first kid as well. So something we all can't, we as the guys here on the show can't relate to, but is anybody doubting Serena Williams is going to be up dominating again at some point?
Yeah, I don't know if she wins this tournament only because Roland Garros is tough and it's a grind, et cetera, but I'm with you. At some point she'll be winning Grand Slams again. I just don't know if right out of the gate she wins the French Open. And Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw is expected to return to the mound tonight in Los Angeles against the Philadelphia Phillies. Kershaw has not pitched since May 1st, spending time on the disabled list with left biceps tendonitis. Dodgers starters have actually kept pace since Kershaw went out. Since May 2nd, the rotation has a 2.99 ERA, which ranks 7th in Major League Baseball. I called the Dodgers and Padres in Monterrey, Mexico, early May, shortly after Kershaw got hurt, and me and Eddie Perez were talking to Dave Roberts about it, and we said, what's the scenario? And he told us the biceps tendonitis, but you have to understand, Mike, and you know this, when a guy, and you have to say this now about Kershaw, he's become injury prone. He's fabulous, but he's had issues with his back. He's had issues with his shoulders. And once that gets in your head now, you've got to coddle and baby this guy a little bit. This is a contract year for him, don't forget. He wants to get that $30 million a year. So,
because he struggled so far with the money he's making.
Exactly. Yeah. But he wants to get out there and pitch, but he has not been affected. And as you pointed out earlier, even the start of this season prior to getting hurt, he had not been the same Kershaw.
1-4. You go all the way back to 2009 until last year. He had never lost 4 games in May. Mm-hmm. So this is a first for that. And then he got hurt. But, you always look for the silver lining or try and find a glass half full moment. They were at the bottom of this division. They're third now. They're still 3 games under 500, but only 3.5 back of the Colorado Rockies. So if Clayton can feel better and start pitching like that Clayton Kershaw we all know, that team can be where it needs to be.
You used to always say without a question he was the best pitcher in baseball. Now it's Max Scherzer. Now it's Corey Kluber. Now it's Justin Verlander. Now it's Chris Sale. Like other guys have caught up to him, and because of the fact the injuries have certainly slowed down Kershaw. We also have a quick update on Tiger Woods.
Oh, he looked good. Yeah, I got a Tiger folder, okay? Tiger Woods, yo.
He made par on his first hole. That would be the 10th. He scrambled to make bogey at 11. So you can check out Tiger right now at the Memorial. It's on ESPN Plus. He's playing with Justin Rose, number 3 in the world, and Jason Duffner, who won the Memorial last year.
And again, he's averaging around a 71 on Thursday, 72 on Fridays. It's over ranking over in the over 100 on the PGA Tours. Thursdays and Fridays have not been good, but he's made the cut in his last 6 events, but he's so far behind because of Thursday and Friday. He's been tough to get himself into position to be in that contention. With the players, he certainly made a run up, but Simpson was so out in front of everybody else in that one. I think he got to within 4. So he's got to have a better Thursday and Friday if he's going to take that next step that so many are talking about. We think he's playing well enough to win a tournament, maybe win a major. Mm-hmm. We'll see. It's going to come down to, be in contention when Saturday rolls around, not fighting back from 9 down, 13 down, or 14 down.
Yeah, and that's really is going to be the frustration for Tiger. Can he find that consistency, which has been so elusive? Adnan Virk in for Trey tonight, the captain. It's Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. We'll get to more NBA Finals conversation talk at the bottom of the hour. Plus, we'll talk further about Brian Colangelo and one of the most bizarre stories you'll ever hear still emanating in the sports world. We'll get to that momentarily, whether or not he had 5 burner Twitter accounts as the executive in charge of the Philadelphia 76ers. But honestly, what's more important than this? I'm back, baby.
Yeah, this is something everybody can relate to. Everybody's either played in Little League Baseball, or I'm sure maybe you've managed it as well. Adnan, from last year to the bench coach to what's going on this year.
1-8 last year as the bench coach of the Cleveland Indians, and my belief was that baseball is meant to be fun, and it's meant to enjoy the time, especially with my son Yusuf, and to just appreciate what we have.
It's a great moment. I remember my dad telling me when I was going to coach my kids in Little League, he said it's going to be the time of your life, without question.
And this year I had a different approach. I said, that was really fun last year.
So fun was out the window?
You know what,
dandelions. You were 1-8?
I got Picasso's drawing pictures in the sand, kids picking dandelions. You know what? Let's pick up some grounders. Okay, let's make some plays. It's really fun? Winning. Here's a novel concept. So we got off to a 2-2 start this season.
And you're the manager now.
That's correct. Rob Hanawalt of the West Hartford Youth Baseball League saw something in me. He said, you know what? He seems docile and fun-loving, but deep down, that guy's a tyrant. And deep down, he has what it takes to be a megalomaniac when it comes to baseball.
So basically, nobody else would manage, so they got you.
Yeah, they kind of reached out the last time. So basically, I'm in charge of the team now. By the way, Stanton was asking earlier, it's a good question. How do we go from the Cleveland Indians to the Sylvan Learning Center?
Yeah.
So, living here in Central Connecticut, everybody wants to be the Red Sox, the Yankees. So at a different, younger level, it's okay. Once you go up to what is now the minors, and it's now 9, 10, and 11-year-olds,
right.
You actually have, company names. Sponsors, correct.
Yeah.
And even the hats are of, minor league teams.
Somebody's got to pay the bills.
Right, we're the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. But Sylvan Learning Center is the official name.
Okay.
So anyways, we got off, and the reason I thought this, Mike, with the lineup, I'm like, we'll just go in alphabetical order. All right, and then the second game, I'll switch it around, and after that, okay, Jimmy can go, and then Billy, and then I was like,
sure.
No. We got off to a 2-2 start. We lost one game 17-1.
Wow.
Like
that's managing. That's bad managing.
I've had some bad days here at ESPN.
Yeah.
Okay, like I've embarrassed myself on the air. I've never embarrassed myself in a public spectacle quite like that.
Yeah.
And the finger is pointing at one guy, this guy.
You're using your thumb. I'm appreciative of that.
And yes, we had to keep the book on that game. It was not pleasant. So I said, all right, we're turning this sucker around. And I fired up the troops. I may have borrowed from Pacino's Any Given Sunday speech.
Mm-hmm.
I
Horrible
dropped the
movie.
profanity, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, inch by inch. Get these guys going. We ripped off a 7-game win streak.
7-game win streak.
That's correct. We're winners now. We then lost a tightly contested game with some shady umpiring. 12-11 on a tough play. But that's fine.
Pointing the finger.
Yeah, then
Okay.
we lost 6-2, and that was our fault. It's fine.
Okay.
We rebound last hit to win. And ladies and gentlemen, we've gone from 1-8 to 8-4. First place in the West Hartford Youth Baseball League.
Last place to first place.
That's
bench
correct.
manager to manager. You're running the team. And I imagine the kids are having fun. I mean, you're just having a great time out there. You kind of don't really have the rules at that age. It's just more fun than anything else.
Listen, it's a teaching moment here, Mike.
Uh-huh.
The fundamentals of the game need to be instilled in these children. And who else is going to do that?
Yeah.
Not their parents.
Yeah.
Me. And this all-star coaching staff. The all-star game is taking place on Friday. Guess who's managing in it? Me and all 8 of my assistants.
Well, there's a lot of me. 8?
That's correct.
You have 8 assistants?
They said to us, listen, you can have one coach and you have 2 assistants, should be okay. I said, there's no rules in this, right? They go, no. I go, terrific. Jim Pisano's my pitching coach. Mark Daigle's my bench coach, chief groundskeeper. Jason Lavoie keeps the book and defensive positioning. Dan Goldbar, pitch count, and also a bench coach. I got David Peters as a first base coach. Rick Rubino chimes in as a third base coach. I'm like, great. Strength in numbers. Guess we got this thing figured out. Yeah, dog. I don't even have a bullpen coach. That's okay.
That's like an embarrassment right now.
It's an embarrassment of riches. Is
Now,
what it is.
tell the people as well that if your kids run the bases incorrectly, what do they have to do?
Well, we had this issue, and listen, I try to be supportive and applaud all gestures, but bonehead mistakes are bonehead mistakes at any level of baseball.
Uh-huh.
And too many
So
times,
9, 10, and 11-year-olds, you're telling them they're making boneheaded mistakes.
maybe not that verbiage.
Okay.
So we had a couple of times in which players were not running when the coach was telling them to run. You can steal second, you can steal home.
Right.
And other times guys were taken off at liberty without being instructed by the coach. So I said, new rule. The next time a player tries to steal without giving permission from the coach or does not run when the coach tells him to, 20 push-ups.
Right there on the field.
Yeah, not in that exact moment, but when we switch innings, like half inning.
But right there in front of everybody, they're doing 20 push-ups.
That's correct. And I try to give it a little bit of discretion. I'm like, all right, I'll take you at like literally 10 feet away from the chain link fence, but all the parents can see, all the players can see.
Can any of these kids do 20 push-ups?
The one kid is unbelievable. The first infraction, and he's an excellent player. He's a little enigmatic. Like at times I don't know what I'm going to get with him, but he's very talented. and so I had to pull him aside. He did the 20 and knocked it. I'm like, all right, like he gets it.
Uh-huh.
The other kid, oh my God. I was like 20 push-ups, and he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, like you know the rules here, bud. Maybe 3, and then it was just like 4, 5, 6. I'm like, you're not even doing a push-up, but I'm like, fine. I let it go.
Do any parents, do they have a problem with this?
My brother asked me that. He goes, any pushback from the parents? I go, if I get any pushback, they're doing push-ups. All right. like, are you? What would be the issue? Do you not know the rules here? Run the bases. Are you allowed to make them do push-ups? I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Wow.
I'm the manager. That's the whole point of this.
You are just a power-hungry dude. Holy
Drunk
smokes.
with power right now. So this is the real question. I need you to be involved here, okay? I need you to star power. Because let me be honest here. The other managers, Mike, when they see me...
They're intimidated?
No.
When they see you or the 8 assistants that you have?
They get a little giddy up in their step. They go, this guy's on baseball tonight. He hangs it with Golic. He thinks he's someone. We're going to take him down a peg.
Okay.
So I know that they're gunning for us. So I'm using all the star power I have at my disposal.
Uh-huh.
Sunday's the quarterfinals, first game of the playoffs.
Okay.
Christine Lacey, ESPN Radio, is going to be there to support the
making
troops.
snacks.
No question.
she's
That
the
is an
best.
enormous incentive.
Okay.
The semifinals, if we make it, one game at a time, will be next Saturday. I'm friends with Aaron Boone, manager of the Yankees. I'm friends with Alex Cora, manager of the Boston Red Sox. All my kids are Red Sox and Yankees fans. What do you guys want? You want to FaceTime with Alex Cora? You want to FaceTime with Aaron Boone? I can make that happen. How about Eric Wedge? I'm friends with him. Rick Sutcliffe, who wants to talk to him? I got all these guys to inspire you all.
Okay.
Now, championship game medal is where I need your help. Sunday, June 10th, the championship game will take place at 1 o'clock or 3:30 at either Fern or Eisenhower Park here in West Hartford.
Right.
You live in Avon.
Yes,
I know
I
you
do.
live a busy life, but you and your wife, Chris, like to embrace the community. You like to help others. You have dogs. How about you come out and be a part of it?
Not sure what having dogs had to do with that.
They like to go to the park, walk
Kind of a
around a little
family
bit.
guy?
It's a nice family outing.
Here's the thing. After what you just told me about how you're managing this team, if I come to this game, I'll be rooting for the other team. I will openly go in the other team's dugout and root for them and cheer them on, saying, go beat that power-hungry whatever I want to call you at that point. Wow.
I want to tell these kids.
I'm stunned.
But I want to tell these kids, Mike, look at me. I'm pathetic. I've never had any athletic achievements. If we win a Little League title, this is the highlight of my athletic career. Like, think about that. These kids are going to go, huh?
So you're living through them. You're doing
that's
exactly
1,000% what we're doing here.
Exactly what my dad said would happen when you deal with parents and other coaches is when they try and live their life through the kid.
Times a billion. I was a player who was average at best, but I loved baseball. I loved it more than anything. And now I can win a title. There's nothing better than this. Yusuf, just like me. Love for the game, talent for the game, but he tries his best. He loves it. He grinds. He runs fast. Bottom line is this. I need motivation. And our man Jerry found some motivation.
See, we told this story before. We wanted to tell it again, but Jerry had some time to work on something here. But I'm of where this could possibly lead to. I'm not going to lie. I'm stunned at this, but Jerry took it to a new level.
So I have my son's Little League team as a number 1 seed. We went 1-8 as a bench coach. This year it's been a much different story. Honestly, it's a story that can inspire.
What if I told you no comeback is too little, even in this league?
I don't know who the comeback player of the year is this year, but I know who the comeback coach of the year.
And who would that be?
It's me.
That a poor man's Chris Chelios is a baseball coach.
This season, Rob Hanawalt, West Hartford Youth Baseball League. He said, you know what? All right, he's got drive, he's got determination. Let's make him a boss. Sylvan Learning Center, I'm now the manager.
That even a team of 8-year-olds can focus on what's most important in life.
And we've just seen a renewed dedication to winning.
That it's not how your season starts, it's what you threaten to take away.
There's no Big League Chew either, for that matter. I banned that. Coach, you got any seeds? No more seeds. You win first and you get seeds after. I'll buy the Gatorade. I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese.
That even Adam Amin can stand tall.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sylvan Learning Center is the number 1 seed at 8-4.
Wow.
Golic and Wingo Laboratories presents the fake 30 for 30 podcast. Excuse me, Mr. Chelios. Can I get a picture? The Adnan Virk's Little League team story.
That is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up with a Chelios jersey. A Chelios Red Wings jersey for the final game.
I am embarrassed. I am just embarrassed.
One of the other managers told me this idea. He goes, the championship game, he goes, get one of those big ESPN banners, and he goes, hang it out in the outfield. I go, why? He goes, the kids will get unnerved. The other team will think, oh, we're going to be on ESPN. I'm like, that is a smart idea.
Are you hated in this league? Seriously, are you hated in this league? Do people talk about you in this league?
Beloved by the other managers.
Oh, I don't believe you one bit. I don't believe you one bit. You have to be hated.
As you know, well known at this level, by the way, walks are a killer. Like
killer when you first start.
The first question Mike said to me, he goes, how's the league going? You go, how many walks?
Yeah.
It's brutal sometimes. Just get the ball over, throw strikes.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if they just get the ball over.
And let's have some fun. Brett Parada, who is a man of words, has the perfect word to describe my managerial style, which is quite frankly controversial.
Okay, so there's a term that a Cubs blogger came up with 10 years ago called toot-bland.
Who?
Toot-bland. It's an acronym, and I think that Adnan's coaching style for the base running is really lines up with this. Toot-bland stands for thrown out on the base paths like a nincompoop.
Ah, so that's bad base running.
When you get a toot-bland on Adnan's team,
you do 20 push-ups.
Okay. You know what? The kids might kind of like that term. Oh, we're tooting again. Okay, 20 push-ups. Let's go. I like it. Because they'll get excited. I'll get excited too. Let's do some more push-ups. Toot-bland.
I would like to privately, with none of your 20 coaches there, talk to your team and in a private moment ask them if they're actually enjoying themselves.
Well, it's interesting because Cora and Booney had said to me, they go, listen, managerial style is often about personalities. Get to know them a little bit. And I said, they're 8, 9, and 10. What am I supposed to, what's your favorite subject?
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble today?
Yeah.
I don't care about that stuff.
So other than that, you just take things away from them and threaten them with push-ups.
Mike, listen, we live in a society now. Everyone gets a ribbon. Everyone gets a trophy. Not our team. We're going to win. When we win, you know how happy you're going to be for me?
No, I am truly rooting for the other team. I am absolutely, positively rooting for the other team. I will stand on the mountaintop screaming for who's the second place team?
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Love Dick's Sporting Goods. I am rooting for Dick's Sporting Goods to take you down a notch.
Could you imagine, if there's a controversial play in that championship game, if we make it, I get tossed. I won't know what to do with myself.
Be unbelievable. And by the way, in that 30 for 30, what a nice little underlying shot at Adam Amin, huh?
No, that's unbelievable. Poor Adam Amin. Guy's doing an unbelievable job.
He's doing a great job. Even just to throw a dart at him.
Oh, anyways, great stuff there from Jerry. And
wow.
I know Mike is not on our side. I know the show. By the way, you guys are all invited. You want to come out this week and support the team? We'd love to have Cliff there.
I'm afraid you'd make all of us do push-ups.
Can you imagine Parada's hulking presence there? My guys will not want to
So
mess
you
up
want to
anything.
go with the intimidation factor. You want to bring us all there to intimidate other 10-year-olds.
I tried to go the other way. It didn't work. Backslapping, support, doesn't work.
Wow.
Go ahead, Cliff. No? Cliff agrees.
I had nothing to say.
I understand.
I won't
be there
nothing
either.
to say.
At Trex, we know there's a place for wood in your backyard. We recommend the fire pit. But when it comes down to choosing the right material for your next deck, look no further than the superior beauty and durability of the world's #1 premium decking brand. Trex delivers the look of wood without all of the work and the worry, and it's made from 95% recycled materials, which makes it the right choice for your backyard 100% of the time. To learn how to make Trex your next deck, visit Trex.com to order samples.
I'm a one-trick pony, literally. I show up at kids' parties and act cute. That's pretty much it. So excuse me for being bitter. When Geico says not only could we save you money on car insurance, but we do more. Like give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or even via our award-winning mobile app. Well, ooh la la. Aren't they multi-talented? Hey, I said organic carrots.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Adnan Virk in for Trey today. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN News, as always presented by Progressive Insurance. All our phone guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. NBA Finals goes tonight. Nobody's better than Ryan Hollins, ESPN NBA analyst, joining us in the studio, giving the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts. We'll get to your approach to youth sports in just a second, whether or not you agree with me. I think you're spitting that hot fire. Wow. High school basketball, Hollins gets after it. Tonight, what has to happen for Cleveland to steal a win, especially if there's no Kevin Love?
For Cleveland to steal a win, you got to come out right and you got to hit him in the mouth. And it's got to be personal. It's got to be physical. No holds bar. This is not the LeBron that will have to inch his way into games. So this is interesting here. He's always kind of felt out every series leading up to the finals. And the question is tonight, will LeBron come out firing? Are we going to see 15 to 20 points in the first quarter alone from him? What is the game plan going to be? And, it'll be a LeBron-led team. And another thing I look at, and you're going to love this, Mike, physicality. When they were down 3-1, the last time they actually beat the Warriors, they beat them up on the glass. They hit them. They said screen. Like, they did all the little things. And there are two guys missing last series for the Warriors. You think, I'm doing the big guys. We didn't see Zaza.
Right.
We didn't see JaVale. So the question for Kerr is, do you brush off the cobwebs, throw these guys in the lineup now? Because if they're not in the lineup, Tristan Thompson has a field day. There's nobody remotely close to box him out. And when they had success last year, obviously we can talk about Kevin Durant, but Tristan was an absolute non-factor. Why? You saw Zaza Pachulia literally face guard and taking this guy out of bounds, and he couldn't get that team going. He creates the second chance and extra effort points for them.
So another guy who hasn't been around for a few games is Andre Iguodala, and not going to be in game one. He's the guy that's defensed LeBron the most. So while he's not the best player on the team, he's usually on LeBron. What's the trickle-down effect from that with him not being there?
See, this is like so frustrating. You got guys like Chris Paul that go out missing. You got Kyrie Irving missing out the playoffs. You got Gordon Hayward not there. You got Kevin Love missing a game 7, and the Warriors are missing their 7th man. Not to say that Andre's not a baller, he's not an all-star, not what he does, but okay, all right, KD,
not a fair fight.
Okay, KD, you got to guard him now. And now if you're LeBron, the Warriors get a little vulnerable. And if you can get two
that's
fouls,
what I mean. What's the trickle down? If KD's guarding him, does he get tired on the offensive end? And
if you can get 2 fouls early on KD, you possibly change the dynamic. But ultimately, you just slide over Draymond or Livingston or, Bell guards them or Looney guards them, and those are the guys who are getting the minutes. Now, tough when Looney and Bell are on the floor because they're playing spirited, great basketball. They're great on the defensive end. But you see where if it was Iguodala, you pitch him the ball, he makes a play, he's a second, 4th, 5th point guard on the floor, he gets to the hole, either scores or makes a play or a dish. You look at Kevon and Bell, and you kind of freeze. you don't necessarily pass on the ball. You ask for a pick and roll. It kind of deads out your action. So, okay, the Warriors are they're hampered a little bit. All right,
Listen,
they're missing a little
Ryan,
bit.
I'm looking for anything here. Okay, I'm born and raised in Cleveland. I'm looking for anything here.
Especially these third quarters. Talking right now with Ryan Hollins, ESPN NBA analyst. The Warriors get down a little bit. Oh, ISO heavy, defense a little lax. Third quarter like a house on fire. Is that, Ryan, overconfidence in the first half? Is it just not getting your legs? How in the world are they so out of sync? And then it's just like, bam, game time.
How are they out? I love how you say, how are they out of sync? Great question. How are the Warriors out of sync? Why? The head of the snake for that team still is Steph Curry. He's the engine, okay? You got all these shooters and cutters and dunkers. You got all these weapons around, but you still, just like football, you got to have a quarterback. Golic, you know the importance of a quarterback. Steph Curry's the quarterback of that team. So as he facilitates, even though Kevin Durant can go manufacture his own points, Draymond can manufacture points in offense. They struggle when Steph doesn't play well. And what is Steph doing? He's still coming back off that injury. He's still not 100%. This isn't the Steph Curry that we have known and loved. He's still working his way back. So, you got to attack him on the defensive end of the floor. You got to attack KD if he's on the ball. And Steph is the guy who's still feeling his way back in. But, golly, that's a tough matchup for George Hill, man.
So knowing this Golden State team outside of LeBron and Love whenever he comes back, who in this series for Cleveland do you think has the chance to step up and be able to do something?
Oh, I love that question. Did you read my notes earlier?
No, I didn't. I made that one up all by myself.
Listen,
you never know.
From the moment he signed, I knew this guy had an important role on this team. And if they were going to win, he'd have to play well. And that's Jeff Green. Jeff balled out.
He did.
Balled out. Uncle Jeff, my dog, in Game 7. But if you look at Jeff Green's skill set, he can relieve LeBron of some of his, I don't want to say playmaking, but scoring at the rim, defensive abilities. He's a big guy. He's not necessarily a center, but he can go clog things up in the paint, block some shots opportunistically. But with his size and presence, he brings an added dimension. Another guy who can actually guard KD. He's played with KD, knows how to guard him. When we played together, Jeff always played him very, very well. Like, Jeff is a guy, if inserted the right way, can really be a lift because LeBron's going to be tired. He's going to need help. They're going to attack him, and they have to, somebody else has to manufacture points. And if you can buy 5-10 minutes for LeBron to rest and those other guys get positive minutes going on, efficient minutes, and Jeff can play well, and it's not just on Jeff. A mix of Jeff, Tristan, and Kevin Love have to be very, very productive.
Talking right now, Ryan Hollins, ESPN Radio and ESPN News on Golic and Wingo. Brett Prado, researcher, how about this for strategy? Draymond Green's taken the third most open threes of any player in the playoffs, 49. He's shooting 27% on those open threes. That's the worst on the Warriors. Curry, Thompson, Durant, they're shooting 50% on open threes. If you're Steve Kerr, are you telling Draymond, stop shooting threes?
I don't know what's wrong with Dre because the one thing that made them really unstoppable, and I don't know if it was Curry was out, he was out of rhythm, but he was a guy who you said, man, we can't leave Draymond Green open anymore. Like, it's pick your poison. And he's passing up on a lot of threes. I don't know if it's confidence, I don't know what, but every time I played against him, the guy would develop and knock down that open three. And you're right, he's honestly regressed. Now, if you watch the Warriors play, it's interesting enough, they go into almost a big above action. So a big above action means I'm a non-shooter at the top of the key, and when I catch, my man is off in the paint. So I'm going to either throw and set a screen or I'm going to run into a dribble handoff action. What does that do? There's no help when Steph Curry or Clay come off. So he'll toss it, set a screen, and they'll go get it. So that's called big above action. All right. Remember when you see that, that's big above action.
All right,
and
I like
so
that.
Draymond has been passing up a lot of open threes that he had normally been taking and knocking down, which I find a little odd, but I just say that's the Curry effect, having him not in that lineup and having him focusing more on playmaking rather than just going to score the basketball. Because, I mean, he can get an open three anytime.
Our ESPN NBA analyst, Ryan Hollins, joining us. Going to get into some Little League coaching here in a second and Ryan's experiences. But, so say that this has already played out 4 years in a row, say 2 teams. If it plays out that Golden State wins like they're heavily favored to do, does this do anything to the offseason, change what we think may happen in the offseason?
Yeah, it's a championship or LA for LeBron. I've been saying that for a long time. And
LA, the Lakers?
Lakers, yeah.
So here's my thought on that. The dude wants to win right now, so who's going? He just going to Lakers. It better be somebody else because they don't have the team if he just goes on there to win the West. So who's going with him?
Keep in mind, other than Dang's contract, the Lakers have a lot of young assets. They have a lot of cap room going into next year. They have shaped themselves to be able to make this move with LeBron. Don't look at the Lakers now. Mm-hmm. Look at what they can be. They're mobile. They can do things with that roster that other teams can't do. They have been shaping themselves for this moment. That's why I believe it's L.A. So when you look at them now, who's he going to play with? How's he going to win? Guys will assemble like Voltron over there.
So you would sell, if you're the Lakers, you'll sell out all your future stars that you have, or some of them, for the next couple of years, because that's what it's going to be, right?
Any team in the league, I don't care what they say, all 29 teams in the league are going to shoot their shot at LeBron. Yeah. This is the hottest girl on campus, man. And she's sitting right next to you in class. You going to shoot that shot, hey. Before we let you, a little subtle.
Before we let you go, Ryan, my coaching style when it comes to West Hartford youth baseball can be epitomized by this.
You play to win the game.
Play to win the game.
That's right. Herm's saying you play to win the game. Now, you have coached high school basketball.
Yes.
What is your coaching style like?
Well, I want to let you know that Marv Marinovich and LeVar Ball are somewhere so proud of you right now.
Oh, my God.
They are glowing from ear to ear, my man. They are.
Marv Marinovich reference. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey. All-timers.
Anybody don't remember that, Google it.
Yeah. I hear you, and I'm much like you, but when I looked at the little guys team, I said, because my nephew was playing, I said, nephew, I can't coach you, but I'll be here with the big guys. Why? Because I'm going to do what you do, and I can yell and scream at the older high school kids a little more.
So you didn't do it with the young kids because you figured you'd have been too out of control?
I would have been too. There's no way.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been kicked out of a few games. I had some run-ins with the ref. But
talking about
they have all been calculated. I've had some run-ins with other coaches. But
it's meant to motivate. It's meant to inspire the team.
Yeah. See, there's a method to the madness. When you look, Golic. All right. Come with me. When you get kicked out of a youth game. Yeah. It's because you're tired of yelling at your team, and then you yell at the ref,
right?
And then you ask him to kick you out, and it creates camaraderie. And then you wave the towels around, and then your team gets going, and you're down 10, and next thing you know, it's a tie game. That's good coaching, right?
Okay, that maybe in high school, you get kicked out of a 9-10-year-old game, you should be asked not to come back.
Listen, it's win at all costs.
Okay? Oh, my God.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Ryan, I appreciate the backup.
Wow.
Ryan Hollins, my guy. Coming up, who's going to be the NBA Finals MVP? Steph Curry for the first time, Durant again, LeBron in a losing effort.
Golic and Wingo.
What should the punishment be for the loser of the show bracket challenge? Sean, each staff member picks an NFL combine drill. Oh, do combine drills?
We're athletes.
You're an athlete. Devin, what are you?
I'm an athlete. Come on
Okay,
now.
sure. Allie played every sport imaginable, so it wouldn't be an issue.
So what are you saying? Brett's not an athlete?
No, Brett's a researcher.
He's a seismologist.
He's an earthquakeologist.
I heard he can ball.
Brett, can you ball?
I put the size in seismologist.
That's such a joke. We have not one athlete on the other side of that glass. Sports Center brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. If you shower, brush your teeth, try to make your hair look presentable, Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best, and they deliver it to you. Try the club today. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Golic. All right, so let me throw in my one Little League story, because after hearing your Little League story about the tyrant that you are now as a manager of a first-place team where your players are playing in fear.
One team's tyrant is another team's winner, but go ahead.
And you have 8 assistant coaches for a 9, 10, 11-year-old team.
Strength in numbers, surround yourself with the best.
So I'm wondering, would you go so far as to do this? So I'm playing, I think I'm 10. My dad's managing our baseball team, and I was pitching. And the other team's manager was the first base coach as their team was up. And one of their batter was up, and he popped up a ball to our first baseman right there at the first base. And as the ball's in the air, right when he's going to catch it, the manager of the other team who was coaching first base yells.
Mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
right as the ball's coming down. Yeah. And our guy misses the ball. Okay. Oh, brutal? After what I heard out of you?
That's just poor
So
sportsmanship.
you wouldn't. Oh, that is. So we found your line.
That's correct.
So the inning ends, right? We get out of that inning. We go to the dugout. Their team goes to the dugout. My dad calls the guy over, right? And puts his arm around him and starts walking him out to center field. It looks like they're just having a conversation.
Sure, friendly
right?
conversation, yeah.
And he walks back, and later on, I asked my dad, what'd you tell him? I said, well, I politely told him if he ever did that again to one of these players, or if I ever saw him do it to another player, I would drop him right in front of all his kids and embarrass the hell out of them. And my dad was a former big dude.
Right.
And, but it just looked like, oh, he's got his arm around.
A
Oh,
friendly
nice.
chat. I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. He told
I will
him,
drill you.
in no uncertain terms, told him he would drill. And again, that's what he told me. He said, it's great to coach your kids, but he said parents and other coaches can ruin the experience at times. Obviously messing around with you and what you're doing, but not so much with Stugotz, who's getting thrown out of girls lacrosse tournaments.
That's
and
unbelievable. How about that passion? NBA Finals Game 1, Cavaliers and Warriors, 9 p.m. Eastern, ABC and ESPN Radio. Prediction time?
Listen, from my heart, I'll say Cavs in 7, another Game 7 that LeBron will win on the road.
It would be amazing.
But my head says Warriors in 5. I mean, it is really tough for me to go. I think the Warriors win tonight. But
this way you're hedging your bets, because this way if the Cavs win in 7, you can say, well,
again, who's counting with my heart? I mean, you're giving me that benefit of the doubt of that. I mean,
that's true.
I'd say with my head, I'm saying 5, maybe 6 at the most.
Yeah.
But with my heart, obviously, I would love to see the Cavs pull this one off.
Should be Dubs in 5, but the fact they just haven't looked like
they haven't. That is true.
Juggernaut. I'll
Right.
say Warriors in 6, but I still think they win.
I think people would love to see a competitive series. You know,
100%.
that you'd love to see that, because how long was it in the conference finals in both before you saw a game under 10 points?
Right.
I mean, so it's not like they were great games that were going on. So that's what I think you'd like to see, is be somewhat entertained. We have some of the best players in the world, probably the top 2 in LeBron and Kevin Durant, and then obviously Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I mean, just some great players. Kevin Love, if he's going to play. Mm-hmm. So you want to see some competitive basketball. We'll see.
NBA Finals MVP. I hope Steph Curry wins it for the first time.
Yeah, if they win it, like most of us feel, the wrong word to use, as easy as we think in 5 games, it could definitely be Steph. The longer it goes, because you look at Game 7 against Houston, who stood out and had to stand out, and he wasn't early on, and Kevin Durant in that game, but he was a monster in the second half, and he ended up leading that team. So if it's a competitive series and they win, I think it'll go to Durant. If not, I think Steph Curry has a good shot.
Okay. And also on tap tonight, we have the spelling bee.
Yep.
Mike Golic Jr. and Jen Latta, 8:30 p.m. tonight. So they're going to host a live presentation on ESPN3. They're also going to play along with the multiple choice spelling bee experience, all of it live streaming available on the ESPN app. That is a WIN. Where are they doing this from?
They're doing it from my son's couch. At his house.
But you and Greeny in the past, you guys went there.
We went there one time, yes, and never got asked back again.
Oh.
They have a bunch of winning words here. I can't even pronounce them, let alone spell them.
Oh, you mean Marocane?
You don't know if that's right.
Canado?
You have no idea if that's how you say it.
And you say it with a question mark, it's never good. Thanks, Mike. Golic and Wingo. Tomorrow, Carlos Boozer and Edzo. It'll be fun.